Welcome to our Sunday night team call, everybody. My name is James McLeod. This is my wife, Audrey. We are calling in tonight from Nashville, Tennessee, where we are spending some precious time with my side of the family. We have a large family. I'm one of 5 siblings, and there's not many times of the year where we all get to come together and spend some quality time. So that's where we are, and we're taking a little bit of time to celebrate some of the things that are going on and to talk about something that I think and what Aud thinks is very, very important about that. So if this is your first call, welcome. Usually we start out with shout outs. So anybody that you would like to recognize, anybody that you would like to celebrate, whether they did a call, whether they had their first enrollment, whether they rank advanced, we love celebrating people. And so if anybody has any shout outs, you can just raise your hand electronically, or you can raise it on the camera and we can give people a second.
We'd love to hear from you. As we're looking, I have a shout out. My brand new friend, Katie, and I tried to pronounce this Turkanovic. Did I do that right, Katie? Turkanovic? Hold on, let me unmute your line. Wait, hold on, let me unmute this. Katie, how do you pronounce your last name? Uh-oh, I can't hear her. Katie, can you hear me?
Yes, it's Turkanovic. You were so close.
So close.
Turkanovic. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Katie Turkanovic, rank advanced to consultant this morning. So she reached her first level of leadership. Everybody, please comment in the chat that you're celebrating her, because she is somebody who sought us out because she saw the momentum on Freedom Living Team and she said, I want to be a part of this. And so I'm really, really proud of her. In her first week with us, she's made $300, which is absolutely amazing. And I also want to give a big, massive shout out to Jamie Linwall now. She did hit the 5-cycle bonus, as her sister also became a consultant last week, and she wasn't actually on the line to celebrate her 5-cycle bonus last week, but she hit it, and I'm so proud of her. And she earned $800 last week, and she has such a heart for serving people and for serving her team. And I just want to give you a massive shout out, Jamie. You are so amazing. So anybody else want to give some shout outs to some people? Layton and Chelsea, we'd love to hear from you.
I wanted to shout out Kristen. This is her first team call. So I'm super excited that she is on tonight. And we did a call going over the business this past week, and she's super fired up to get this business going. So just wanted to shout her out. And also our girl, Lachey Miller, just hit consultant. She doesn't have Facebook, but I will send her this Zoom so she can watch it. But super excited for her for hitting consultant tonight.
That's amazing. Congrats for consultant. Welcome to your very first call. Oh, things get so much better with each passing day, month, and year being a part of Isagenix, specifically this amazing, amazing team. So we just welcome you. So awesome. Does anybody else have any shout outs? Kathy Waldrop, we'd love to hear from you.
Your line is now unmuted. Oh, there you go. You got it, Kathy. Go ahead.
Got it. I would like to give a shout out to my good friend Gina, who is on her first team call right now. She has just finished her first month and is having a wonderful transformation. And I'm just very excited that after hearing about the team and following us on our page, that she's able to participate in the call tonight. So welcome, Gina.
Awesome.
Welcome
to the call. You have an amazing, amazing leader in Kathy, and we're so glad that you're here. So guys, we're so pumped. If you have any more shout outs, just raise your hand. We'll get to you at the end of this call. But James and I have a special message for you tonight who is on this call. And before we really dive into this message, I just want to give a quick reminder of Celebration 2019, which is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. Comment in the chat if you've already purchased your Celebration ticket. We are going to be in Nashville, Tennessee in August. Give them the dates, James.
10th through the 13th.
August 10th through the 13th. where we are coming together. People all over the world, 15,000 people are coming to Bridgestone Arena from all over the world to hear about the new products that are going to be released, to celebrate all of the people who are growing their Isagenix businesses, to give you the training, the support, the belief that you need to make the type of income that you desire to make being a part of this team and being a part of Isagenix. You're also going to have amazing parties as well. I know that there's the fun aspect to celebration that's always amazing. And James and I, we officially have booked our Freedom Living Team Night, which is going to be on Monday, where we have a 3-story house where we rented this beautiful 3-story house, and it's going to be a white affair. So it's going to be an all white party. So you're going to pack your white outfit. And on Monday, we're going to have a team night where we're going to have great music. We're going to have food. We're going to have drinks. It's going to be amazing. And all you need to do, Jamie Lynn's going to wear her wedding dress. Come on, girl.
Bringing it.
Me and you, baby. And so we are so excited about this. And we want you to invite your team to come to this event as well. Get an Airbnb with them. Get a hotel with them. Whatever you need to do to get your team to Celebration. Buy your tickets in the back office and help your team do so, because it is going to be a phenomenal event. And people who come to events are the ones that see their incomes change year after year after year. So if you're on this call because you are looking for more freedom financially in your life, then this is a non-negotiable, and we can't wait to celebrate with you.
So diving into it, this was a weekend packed full of, I know, a ton of different sporting events, but one in particular. Did anybody watch the Kentucky Derby?
Hold on, we'll do our speaker view. Hold on one second.
Oh, here we go. I got it. Here we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so did anybody watch the Kentucky Derby yesterday? Show of hands or comment in the chats.
Was so sad. It made me sick to my stomach,
okay.
Actually.
So I'm going to go ahead and just play it out for you, because this is what I wanted to. Too busy watching the NBA Finals. Yes. So I know there's lots of sports going on right now. We got hockey. We got all of it. So we were all in the family, we were all kind of just sitting back watching, the sports and the Derby. It's a great spectacle event. So we were all kind of watching it, and, nobody was placing bets. Nobody was too into it. Right. But we were like, okay, this is exciting. And the race starts, and it's a clean race. It's all muddy though. So the track is totally washed out. I don't know if you saw videos. It's totally raining, all this stuff, which makes, racing conditions a little bit precarious. And the long and short of it, around the last turn, something took place that nobody really took notice of at the time, and we saw the winner. It was the favorite winner, right? Everybody who was expecting this guy to win, he won it. And then about 3 minutes after this guy had clearly won, one of the other contenders said, no, I think there's a foul. There was a foul during the race. I'm going to submit that there was, I don't know what you call it, not a disqualification, but just a foul. And so everything goes on pause, and everything freezes. They don't declare him the winner. Everybody stops, and they start talking to this lady who is the one that's overseeing and the rule follower, and she's the one that's going to call the shots, and they're looking at these replays. And here's what had happened. This horse, who was expected to win, is a very young horse, was coming around the last corner of the race. He had finished almost the entire race leading. He was leading the race the whole way. And he's coming around this last corner. And he gets, this is the jockey's words, he gets spooked by the crowd, and he drifts out. Now there's 3 other horses that are coming on the outside of this corner, and so he drifts out and almost collides with them, so basically cuts them off. And in horse racing, apparently you can't do that, forcing the other 2 of the riders to really pull back and slam the brakes. And then he swerves back in and finishes the race. But in that moment, he got out of his lane, and he started getting distracted a little bit. So they go on for 20 minutes trying to figure out who did what, where the fault was, if there was a fault. And the long and short of it, as I'm sure many of you guys know, this horse got disqualified. The winning horse got disqualified. and it ended up being the second place winner, where that was a 65-1 odds, was the winning horse of the Kentucky Derby. And it was just a weird event, because they had already interviewed this guy saying, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about your victory? And he was like, oh, this is something I've been dreaming of, all this stuff. They interviewed the trainer. He was like, I'm about to cry. My brother won this 15 years ago, and here we are. So a bunch of mixed emotions, but I saw this clear picture of how often it can happen when we get out of our lane and we get distracted. And the jockey said, listen, he was like, this is a young horse. He's never raced like this before. He's a young horse. He got distracted by the crowd and he drifted out and he got out of his lane, and it caused him to lose the race. And I saw this picture of how often here in network marketing, here in Isagenix, we can in this world of social media, we can get out of our lane so quickly. So quickly. Who can relate to feeling like they can just get out of the lane? Comment in the chats if you feel like you can get out of your lane, just mentally, where you're sitting there and it's 8:30 in the morning, right? You haven't even done anything yet in the day. You haven't even started in the day, and you're doing this and you're scrolling, and in 30 seconds you're already comparing. You're already looking at how she's dressed for the day, or how he's dressed, or what kind of workout he did, or what kind of post he made, or what kind of rank advancements they've had this past week, and you haven't even stepped foot on the ground yet, or you haven't even stepped foot outside of your house, and you're already playing in somebody else's lane.
Yeah.
And how detrimental that can be for all of our journeys in this. And here, the horse wasn't even meaning to, but he took his eye off of the race. He took his eye off of where he was wanting, and the jockey was wanting him to go, and he got spooked by the crowd that was coming around, and his eyes got off of where he was going, and he looked up and started going to other people and started drifting out because it spooked him, and he got disqualified. And so what I want us to start just thinking about, and I'll say for me, and I would love to hear from you guys too, one of the areas that I can get out of my lane is when I start to compare myself with people in completely different spheres of influence and in completely different lines of business, whether it's with, real estate, or, professional speaking, or, business training, or whatever. That's one of the areas that if I let myself go down there mentally, it can be something that really, really slows me up and kind of backfires. Does anybody else, what are some areas where you feel like you can get out of your lane a little bit? Mentally or emotionally, or just in your life? Where are things that kind of derail you?
Wanting to be certain people instead of following the path in your own journey. Okay,
so wanting to be certain people instead of following the path of your own journey. I love that.
Comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel. It's easy to do on social media, isn't it?
Yeah. And so I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add on top of that.
It's really interesting. James and I have been talking about this so much. And, when you look at the most successful people who are in network marketing, it's because their sole focus is on their growth. It's on celebrating their team. It is shouting people out. It's encouraging one.
Can you guys hear us? Okay. You can hear us now? Thumbs up.
We can hear you. You sound great.
All right.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. Continue on.
All right. Let's just get these. Okay. So one of the ways that we can see it starting to go downward, and when you can catch this, you can catch it and bring yourself back into focus, is by begrudging what's going on inside of your life and inside of your organization. Complaining starts to take you down this downward spiral. Getting frustrated with how you should be further along, not celebrating your wins comparing yourself to somebody else, and honestly being frustrated with what you've been given. I see it happen all the time. But what happens when you start celebrating, when you start focusing on all of the amazing things that you have going on in your life and in your organization, it shifts that energy completely, and it opens yourself up to receiving more of God's blessings in your life. I look at all of these leaders who are constantly moving forward in their finances. They're constantly having these shout outs of these recognition, and they all have one common theme. They are really, really intentional about focusing on the positive things that are constantly going on in their life. So I haven't personally enrolled anybody this week. My flesh could look at this week and say, well, you could have been doing more in your business because you didn't personally enroll someone, instead of looking at Katie, who just became a consultant. So where is your focus when it comes to your business? Are you focusing on the fact that you're on this team call on Sunday and you're celebrating yourself for it? Are you focusing on the fact that you posted something on your social media when it could have been scary or uncomfortable? Are you celebrating the fact that there's somebody on your team who just purchased their celebration ticket? Are you shouting it from the rooftops that you connected with 10 new people this week? So when it comes to focus and when it comes to staying in your lane, one of the quickest ways to lose sight of your lane and of everything good that's going on is through complaining. And so that is a key factor when it comes into noticing, all right, am I going on this downward spiral? I want to continue moving myself forward. So paying attention to your gratitudes, focusing on the things that you are doing well, focusing on the things that are happening great in your life and in your business, celebrating the wins. Because I'll tell you, it's not like there aren't discouraging moments that happen to James and I. But we are here to say, no, 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 no. What you focus on expands. I will not allow you to speak that out of your mouth, because words carry power. And I want you to change that story. And I want you to speak out where you're going. And I want you to focus on all of the amazing things that are happening in the business. How easy is it for us to celebrate ourselves advancing in leadership, and then the very next day we can be complaining about how so-and-so didn't text us back. Let's be the people who are always seeing the positive and speaking life over the people. Listen, we've been in this business for 6 years. We get the customer returns. We've seen it all. But guys, let's be the people who are so focused on falling in love with our life and our journey and what's happening within our team, that we become such lights in this world that everybody who's watching you, who hasn't yet said yes, just want to get coffee with you because there's something different about you. What if you were that person who is so congruent to who you are, because your mindset has shifted so much from getting out of the negativity and into falling so in love with your life? James, for the last couple of weeks, has been telling me every day, let's fall so madly in love with our life that we have no idea what anybody else is doing. Let's focus so much on falling so in love with celebrating our team more that we can be so obnoxious with celebrating them, because we're so focused on the growth that's happening, the things that we do have instead of the things that we don't have. And we started focusing on these things, and we started to see a difference. And I wanted to share that with you because I have been one of those people who can go into the complaining mode, and it serves nobody any good. So let's be the people that don't fall into that.
So comment in the chats if you have gotten paid by Isagenix in this past month. Just say me, if it's any sort of money. If anybody has gotten paid by Isagenix in this past month. Okay, so.
Come on, look at all these me's.
Come on, all of this. So here's the crazy thing that we have to remember when it comes to our journey. is that you guys, there are people out there that are working so tirelessly. They are working so diligently, and they're working a different compensation plan with a different product line, with a different timing, with a different training and support, with a different corporate, executive training and all this stuff. And they're not making anything. And they're putting their hand to the plow. Comment me if you feel like you've grown or you've had some sort of breakthrough in your mind in the past month. If you've grown or had some sort of breakthrough in your mind in the past month. Okay. So you guys, I've been talking to a lot of you, and what I'm realizing that is a lot of people don't realize, let's talk just about the monetary for a second, because that's easy to quantify, right? I've been talking to a lot of leaders, and they don't really know how much they've made yet. And I say, just go back and look at your compensation plan history. Just go back and calculate it. And it's such a powerful exercise, because we can, so quickly see how much other people made in the bonus pools or whatever, and just shout outs, and you just are like, well, this maybe wasn't a big week, so I don't feel like I've made enough in Isagenix at all. But I've had so many conversations with people, and they've made, upper 4, or they've made over 10,000 or over 15,000 or over 30,000. And they were so shocked. They were like, whoa, I didn't realize I made this much. And I'm so taken aback by it. And I'm filled with so much gratefulness because of what's happening right here and right now.
Right.
And so what she was saying is so, so true. If you can find 3 things, and I love this. I heard somebody say this. You guys, this whole gratitude thing that everybody's talking about, listen, it really doesn't mean anything unless you actually embody that feeling of gratefulness.
Right.
Like being like, oh, I'm grateful for the air that I'm breathing, and like I'm grateful for, I guess my car so I can drive around, and I'm grateful for my wife. Like there are 3 things I'm grateful for. Like that did nothing for me right here. Yes, I professed it, but what we really want to get to is this actual, like your embodiment of like, I'm so incredibly grateful that we have a company like this. Listen, all of you guys, I know you've all lived so much of life. You've seen so many different areas. You've seen the hardships. You've seen the high roads, and you've seen the ups and the downs of all of it. Here you are with a community of people who will stand by you, who will support you, who will be the loudest applause of anybody maybe in your world when you succeed here. You have all of the training, all of the support, all of the backing. And how quickly we can just be like, oh, I wish I had so-and-so, or I wish I had so-and-so's life, or I wish I would just caution you that the best things in life, right? What do they say? The best things in life usually aren't noticed until they're gone. So what if we took captive all of those things that are so sweet in our life right now, and we actually realized their value? We actually realized how sweet this time actually was. You guys, there have been amazing events this past weekend in the Atlantic City and in Vegas. Some massive events within Isagenix where some big things are happening. And like we've been speaking out for the past several months, there is real excitement and real energy happening within this company right now.
Well, and I want to share just a quick story of a personal story that happened to James and I earlier this week, and what complaining did, and then what gratitude, like true gratitude in the heart did. So I planned this like really cute getaway for James and I. I was like, this is going to be great. We're going to dream bigger. I had envisioned in my mind that it was just going to be this time where we're not on our phones, and we're praying for our leaders. We're dreaming about our future. I got this really cute, it was all over magazines, on the Airbnb of this awesome tree house in Nashville. I was like,
so anybody ever had like set expectations before?
I have
about
these
something?
Expectations.
Yeah.
We pull up and I'm like, oh, this isn't what it looked like on Instagram. And we walk inside and there were bugs crawling on the bed, on the ceiling, on the floor. I said, oh no. And my heart started to drop, and I started to go into this
real life
frizzy. I'm not kidding. And James was like, it's okay. It's a thought that counts. And I'm like, it's not the thought that counts. And my expectations are ruined. And I had this plan, and guys, track with me. Just think about your Isagenix business in this. Okay. Cause we can all go through this. Right. And then I was like, and so then we started laughing, and I was like, all right, let's laugh about this. And then I got really frustrated again. And so we get in the car, and I just started to complain. And I was like, I'm so upset. Like, we were going to have this really sweet time together and nothing's working out. And now we have to get a new Airbnb, and I'm complaining. And every Airbnb that we started to look at, we're getting declined. There wasn't an open door for us because the grumbling was shifting and changing everything. So we put our phones down and we started to laugh, and James started to speak life into me. And he was like, it's just the thought. You're so sweet. I hear your heart. This is awesome. And then we started laughing. And I was like, okay. And he was like, just think, it doesn't really matter. Look at what we have with Isagenix. And we started to get into this really sincere place of gratitude for the fact that it was okay that we are not going to get our money back from this Airbnb treehouse that I got. It's okay because we've worked really hard for this residual income and truly getting into this place of pure gratitude. Moments later, after that gratitude had taken place, there was this open door for us to stay at this beautiful Airbnb free of charge because we had a connection. And so I share that story with you to share with you that through the complaining and the grumbling, it was door shut after cancellation after cancellation. So think about that in your Isagenix business. Complaining can shut these doors. It can stop these connections. Gratitude can open up the floodgates for you. And so with that being said, Caitlin, I want to just shout out Caitlin Hunt real quick, who's on this line. She did what James encouraged her to do, which was to calculate the income that she's made since starting Isagenix. She's made $8,000 since joining our team in January. So in 4 months, she's made $8,000. And she said in a text message to me, she was like, I never would have gotten an $8,000 raise at my salary paying job. So when you are looking at your Isagenix business and you calculate, because I want everybody off of this line to calculate your compensation plan and the compensation that you've made, to be in so much gratitude for what has happened in your life, for giving yourself X amount of a raise this year or since you started Isagenix, so that your gratitude is so focused on what you've been given so that you will be open to receiving so much more.
And I'll take it one step further. And yes, what she just said about Kate is spot on. We had this amazing call and she was filled. The gratefulness was just flowing from her. It was so amazing. But I'll take it one step further and to go another step further from just the monetary standpoint and look at how you've grown as a person, right? Because we can hit goals, but if we're always aspiring to grow, then we're not capping what's actually available. We're actually able to just continue to grow endlessly. And
so you are capping what if you're not?
Explain
you
that.
Said that you weren't capping, but you are capping.
Yeah, with goals, if you say I want to make $1 million, then you can cap that. You can cap how much you grow, because once you hit that point, then you're like, you know what? I'm done.
I'm here.
As opposed to saying, I want to grow into someone who can generate millions of dollars, right? It's just a different way of thinking. And so one of the things that we had, part of our conversations during that frustrating afternoon was, hey, listen, we've had times like this in our life before. Who has had a moment of comparison in their life? Raise your hand. Okay. If you've had a moment of comparison, a moment of frustration, a moment of anxiety because you think the bottom is flying out from under you with Isagenix or whatever, I said, listen, Aud, we've had this experience before. We have the opportunity to respond differently this time.
Ooh!
We don't have to respond the same way we've always responded to things.
I had to kill my flesh.
We can grow. And so look at these areas in your life, you guys. I would just challenge you. Look at these areas in your life that maybe you're just tripping you up, that are just kind of getting you snagged, whether it's somebody texts you something or somebody calls you and it just gets you so frustrated and your energy is just totally changing. Where is that snag happening? And then internally say, okay, how can I grow through this so that I don't respond like this anymore? And I can just be free flowing and grateful throughout all situations. Because when we actually put things in perspective, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, when we actually put things in perspective, you guys, we are among the most blessed people on the face of this planet.
Yeah.
We
so
really,
good.
truly are. And on top of which, having the resources, having the health, having the availability that we do, we have a gift. We have a gift to give other people who are searching just like you, just like we all were prior to Isagenix. And so, leaving tonight, going into this amazing week with not just a saying of, oh, I have gratitude, or, oh, I'm grateful, but like letting yourself maybe just silence everything else in your world tonight, and like going to bed and thinking about 1, 2, or 3 things that you can really feel so over the moon grateful about. If it's about Isagenix, great. If it's not, and it's about a family member or about how you've grown, amazing. But I would just challenge you guys, this is an amazing exercise that will truly put things back into what I believe a more divine order in your life, so that these frustrations and these things that can kind of throw us back and forth don't happen, where we're not like maximum security. That horse who's in the first place, and all he needs to do is get around 1 more quarter of a stretch, and he's the Kentucky Derby winner, and he leaves his lane because he's not focused on where he's going, and he's not focused on what's happening right in front of him. So I wanted to share that, and I hope it resonates with some of you guys tonight, because when I saw it, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be distracted by other people's story. I don't want to be distracted by other people's, what other people are going on. I want to support them and cheer them on 100%. But what if we are a people that are so grateful with what's going on in our lives that other people become more grateful and find more gratitude in what's going on in their life?
Right. And just remember that this is a lifelong journey. We are in this journey called life, where we are ever growing and ever changing. Don't lose sight of the dreams, of the vision that you have for your life through Isagenix. There are going to be so many ebbs and flows in this, so many life lessons that you're going to learn through this. Don't waver in the vision that you have for Isagenix, for your legacy, for your family, and work towards it with joy and with gratitude until you see it become your reality. Because James and I know this is not, and we are not an overnight success. But we are here in the trenches with you 6 years later, because who you're going to become in this process and what you're going to gain, the freedom, yes, physically, financially, time freedom, emotionally, all of it is amazing. It will be worth it. So we're cheering you on. We are in your corner. We're fighting for you, and we're celebrating you for, all that you've done and who you are as people. And let's make this new week the best week of our life.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on to Freedom Living Team Business, and I'm just going to make a post that's going to say, what are you grateful for? And I would just encourage you to take some time and reflect, and really let it be something that you think and you contemplate and you cultivate. We don't want to be a people of speaking. We want to be a people of action and doing. So I'm going to make a post that just says, what are you grateful for? And I would just ask, why don't we just all comment 3 things that we can feel incredibly grateful for tonight or tomorrow or whenever you guys get around to it. Does that sound good? Okay, wonderful.
Awesome.
You guys, we love you. We are excited for what's happening. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday night. We will be on this call at the same time next week. Love you guys.